Alan.
You want me to drive?
No.
Okay.
Fancy.
Ooh, wireless.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Ms. McKnight, we are recording, right?
Yes.
All right. So, as far as today's concerned, here is our agenda. There are some things that we have to go over. For the most part, we've kind of talked about a lot of this stuff already, but it's just EF wants us to do it again. We will just move right into it. Departing, right? Obviously the trip is on Tuesday the 17th. That's when we are gonna be leaving. We're leaving out of Dulles. And so leaving out of Dulles, our flight takes off at 10:20. As far as our airline is concerned, Lufthansa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
My apologies, long day. We have our flight number there as well. I said this in a previous meeting. My general philosophy is let's hurry up so we can wait. That's just how I function. It gets me in trouble with my wife. But I like to be places like way ahead of time. That way, we're not worried about last minute things. So our meeting time will be 6:30, right? If you guys can arrive to the airport at 6:30, and we'll meet at their counter. That way we can parents, you guys can say your goodbyes. That way we'll gather there in front of the counter, make sure we have everybody. We don't obviously want to leave without everybody. Want to make sure everybody's on board. That way we have to go through our screen and everything, and then we're good to go. So we'll meet at 6:30. And then we will have one stop. We'll have one stop in Munich. The layover will be an hour and 30 minutes, and then we will arrive in Berlin the next day at 3:05. The return flight, we will be returning on June 26th. We'll be coming back on the 26th. We will be leaving Prague at 2:05. We will be taking British Airways. We have a flight number there, and then we'll be arriving in Dulles. We have one stop in London. So we'll be stopping in London at Heathrow for an hour and 50 minutes for our layover before we go off across the pond, come back to America, and arrive in Dulles at 8:10. Okay, all this flight information. If you want to, please take pictures of it. It will be in multiple places. It's already on your account, and then we'll even take it a step further. I will share another way that you can follow where we will be and when we will need to be.
So was there a stop on the way out?
Yes, there is. There's a one stop in London.
Both return in and out.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Do you know if everybody's gonna be sitting together?
They try to group everybody together. For the most part, when you have traveled with EM.
So we're on a singular ticket, and they'll give us our seat assignments when we get to the airport. They try to group us together, so we're always in the same vicinity. But as far as like row by row by row, it doesn't usually happen that way. But the kids, what we usually tell them is that since we're all on the same ticket, if they want to sit next to a friend, and let's just say they're on our ticket, they can swap places with people that are in our group to sit next to someone they want to sit next to. But we're usually within rows of each other. We can see each other, short distance. We're not like they never separate us like 10, 15 rows apart, unless we're a really, really large group, but we're pretty small, so we're pretty good.
And to help that, I like the idea of myself in the front, and well, not in the front of the plane, but in front of the students, and then Miss McKnight in the back of the students. That way, we know no one's getting off the plane, and we know if people are going to the back of the plane, we are going to have obviously our eyes on them. That way, they're sandwiched between the two of us. But we'll see how it all works out. Hopefully, like I said, it's 14 of us.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll be within the vicinity. That way, eyes reach.
Mhm.
eyes and ears,
Mhm.
to your children, okay? Any questions about the flights? Yes.
For the layover in London, the UK has instituted that new fees, so that's something we need to be prepared to do.
So, I had a panic attack the other night.
A small one.
Very small, no, it's very, that's very, back, I'm double and triple checking everything. Because I've heard about his ETA,
Mhm.
and I'm looking, I told you in the previous meeting, no, we didn't need it. I go on EF, I'm looking through things, it's saying we do need it, so I'm like, okay, well, let me double check again, let me search the internet.
Right.
Long story short, I'm getting conflicting answers. I finally reach out in a panic at 11:30 at night to our coordinator. I'm like, I need an answer because it's unclear. Do we need them?
Mhm.
Yes or no? The answer is
No,
no.
we do not need them.
And the reason being is because we are only stopping in London, we're only stopping at Heathrow. We're only there for an hour and 50 minutes. We're not leaving that restricted zone. So that is the 100% answer that I have been given. The experts have told me, I reached out to them, but yes, I did have a panic attack, and I appreciate the double and triple. If I came to school the next day, a mess. And then I got my answer, I was like, all right, good.
Yes.
Now I just gotta get through today. And anyways, so any other questions about the flight? Okay. Mr. McKnight?
Yes. So reminders, baggage allowance. I know that we are usually given, of course, you have your personal item that you can carry with you, and then you have your carry-on that you can carry with you, and a one checked bag. And EF does say that they want us to carry light, try to do one check on bag. But because we are a group ticket, every time I've ever flown with EF on a group ticket, they've never allowed us to carry on our bags, even if we had only carry-ons. They check everything. So I learned, you know what? If they're going to check a bag, I'm going to pack comfortably. What we tell students is pack what you can carry, what you can comfortably carry. Because if we have to go up 3, 4 flights of stairs, because maybe we're staying in a little loft hotel with no elevator, or maybe we have to go up a gravelly hill, something that you are able to carry comfortably without a lot of help. I carried a checked bag. I don't know the dimensions. My husband usually works with the dimensions, but it's about that big, about the size, and I was very comfortable with it. It had wheels, and I was able to take it everywhere with me, and I was fine. And I still had my personal item in my backpack. So, but you are responsible for any additional check bags. I did have a student once come with 2 large luggage, like pieces of luggage. She literally bought her entire bathroom. I'm not exaggerating. Those mirrors, the magnifying mirrors that's on the stand, she brought that. She bought her blow dryer. She bought everything. So, and her parents understood that they had to pay the additional fees. She was fine with it. She was fine. Seat assignments will be given to us at the counter. So we're on that one ticket, and then they'll print out paper tickets for us. No, we cannot get it ahead of time. You can't get it on your phone. We're gonna be paper tickets the entire time. And they'll print it out, and we students, you have to hold on to them because that's how we get on the plane. They're called boarding passes, and yes, they're on paper, and they rip it and they scan it. So you got to hold on to it. We usually tell them to tuck it in their passport and put their passports away. Our flight itinerary is subject to change. They always tell us to check with the airport because after they book the flight, they're like, okay, this is on you guys. We can't control what the airline does. So we'll check. But when we get to Dulles, we usually just check the board. And thank goodness it's a Tuesday. It's a lighter travel day. So I'm saying that everything's going to be perfectly fine. And in-flight meals. So if you have like an eating restriction, maybe you don't eat pork, or maybe you don't or maybe you're vegan or lactose intolerant or something, and you want a special meal, you have to contact the airlines, either Lufthansa or British Airways, and let them know at least 72 hours before flight what your restrictions are, and they'll have a special meal prepared for you before the flight.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
no, and packing, like I said before, I pack comfortably. I usually pack my personal item, which is like my bag or a purse, like usually like a satchel, a backpack, and sometimes I'll consolidate, like I'll put my purse in my backpack and use it that way. And then I'll have my rolling luggage. I'd like to have enough space so that when I come back, I have space for like all of my trinkets and stuff that I gather when I'm there. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take another backpack, like the EF backpack they give us. I'll take my work backpack with me. And then I'll take the EF backpack and pack it flat within the backpack, just in case I don't have enough space when I come back. I can add things to that backpack when I come back. But just as long as you pack with enough space to come back with some things if you know you're gonna go shopping. We talked about the baggage fees already. Comfortable walking shoes are super, super, super important. EF prides itself on like hit the ground running. And sometimes I'm like, I wish you guys would just take us to a hotel so we can freshen up. But they don't do that. And when they say hit the ground running, I mean, once we leave the airport, we're on the bus and we're going to our first whatever it is. And we're leaving our baggage under the bus and we're walking someplace. And sometimes we're walking a mile and a half, and then we're walking a plaza to get something to eat. So we're really hitting the ground running. And if you're on a plane for several hours, you already know, well, maybe because I'm older, I blow. I don't know. I get swollen and I just don't want to walk, what you do. So just be as comfortable as you can. A refillable water bottle. I don't pack this. I usually pack like one of those
Class.
either that or like those rubber. Yes, the collapsible ones, so that I can refill if I need to at the airport, because you know, once you go to the airport, they make you dump out your water anyway. So I'll do that and then I'll fill it up when I get to the airport.
I know it's a little side note, maybe packing a little like Crystal Light or
Oh, yeah.
those powder drinks. One of the things that if you travel to Europe, it's not like America where you get free refills. But I like to drink
Juice.
things other than water. So
Yes, yes,
kids, you guys definitely have
yes.
strong suggestions.
I do the Gatorade packets for the like just in case I start to sweat a lot and I do those too sometimes. Long sleeve pants for religious sites or schools. I'm not sure if we even have one. I know there's a possibility we might have to cover our head.
Haven't heard that from our tour guide yet,
Mhm.
coverings. Usually that happens if we were to enter a synagogue.
Mhm.
Based on my last trip to Krakow, when we went into a synagogue, they had head coverings available.
Okay.
So you can
Perfect.
bring your own or you can rely on theirs, but I haven't heard anything back. In my last email that I'll send to you guys on Sunday, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday before we leave, hopefully I'll have more information. I'll put that little plug in there about that.
Okay, perfect.
Side of her woman scarf is fine, but what's appropriate for a man?
Yeah.
My husband might want to wear a baseball.
That is totally fine. That is totally fine. I won't be walking around. And then out there like everybody else, so I will have that on at all times in the sun. But yes, a baseball cap is totally fine as long as the head is covered. Like I said, I would have thought they would have gotten back to me by now. But the last I saw, I don't think there was a mention of a synagogue. For the most part, they will put this is a general statement that they put out.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool.
We'll talk about that. That's in here. Are we good, Miss?
Yes.
All right. So as far as the money situation is concerned, already took care of that, collecting the tip money. We're good to go on that. As far as spending money, parents, you know what's best for your child, right? I don't believe in telling parents you should set a limit. I mean, you know what's best for your child.
Mhm.
You know, when my children travel, I give them a certain amount of money. I'm like, you better make do with it.
Make it work.
Right, make it work. But really the money, obviously, if your child wants to purchase any souvenirs or any snacks along the way, the biggest thing is really, you know, so that they can pay for lunch, right? Like I said, the meals are taken care of. For breakfast, we're good to go for breakfast. That's already taken care of, and dinner's taken care of. The only responsibility for your child is just lunch. Okay. So you know, if they want to buy snacks, that's fine. Parents, but like I said, you know what's best for your child. As far as money is concerned while traveling, I know in previous meetings we had talked about the idea of till. EF offers the service of till free of charge. It's its own separate company or whatever situation that you've already set up with your child. As far as if your child is traveling with a credit card or debit card, I've always been told, and please correct me, Miss World Traveler, the best thing to travel with is a credit card because if it's a bank card, then you're not more than likely not going to be refunded, correct?
Your fees, yeah, are not covered, but the credit card, it's great. I mean, I carry both, but I know I don't like when I went with my kid, I didn't trust him with my debit card. I'm not giving him my debit card. So I gave him my credit card and that way I could track it as he spends too. And if I needed to refute something, if something was taken, but I love, especially like in the European nations that are more developed, like, Germany, they, every place takes credit cards. So it's so much easier to just swipe and I don't have to worry about someone trying to.
But please make sure you let your bank or credit card company know that your child will be traveling abroad. We would hate for them to run into a situation where they go to use a card and it doesn't work
Mhm.
or there's a decline. As far as money on tour, there will be plenty of ATMs. In the airport, there will be ATMs when we land in Germany. But there will be ATMs within the different cities that we're in, as well as the different train stations that we'll be traveling through. You know, my general rule is, take out what you're going to need, but you also got to be able to spend that before you leave. If you want to come back to America with a bunch of euros, it's like, not this guy. Unless you plan on going
I
back.
have so many euros in my purse. I can't wait to spend. Yeah, I'm ready. Mhm.
The money exchange here before you foreign.
So when I went to Italy with EF in December for training to get your guys' experience, yes, I did. I went to the one in Potomac Mills. I took 200 out. So I gave $200 American cash, and I think I paid. I'm sorry, this is where I get confused with the conversions. I think I paid 230 to get 200 euros.
Correct.
What I looked at today, and I said I wasn't going to bring this up. But the exchange rate differs. Right now, I think it's $1 equals 87 euros. Sorry, 87 cents in
Mhm.
euro.
Yeah.
In Poland, the money is zlotys. Our dollar goes very far in. For our dollar, it equals $3.75 there. And then the Czech Republic is krono. It's our dollar equals 21 over there. It's easier to kind of eyeball to kind of have an idea. I'm not sure if that covers like, all right, well, how equal is that? Is our dollar really? I won't even get into the math, but you can go to Potomac Bills. You can also go to your bank.
Please, yeah.
I know banks also will do that for I think a small charge.
No.
I think.
If you have an account, they will not charge you. They won't charge you a fee. They'll just charge you the rate. But yeah. But you need a couple days. Ah.
But yes, they definitely have. I know for sure they have one in Potomac Bills.
And the airport too.
Yes, as well as in the airport. When I landed in Poland, back in 2019, I just went directly to the ATM. And I was able to get, the food out. So you can also rely on that as well. Any other questions about money? And then also, guys, we'll talk about this travelers when we're on tour. Parents, you can look this up. There's an app for the exchange rates, like you can punch it in. Always get confused by going back and forth. So that is dealing with the money. As far as the entry requirements, because everybody showed up today with a passbook, I know that no one has a car, but just a reminder, please make sure if you have both, please only bring your passport book, right? We have the photocopy of it.
Mhm.
But having a card is not gonna do anything for your child, right? So that's why I put that in there. Please make sure you travel with a passport book. Like I said, I'll put that in a reminder, kind of like a checklist for you to say, all right, I have my passport, I have this, I have that. And I'll put that in an email Sunday before we leave. As far as your passport is concerned, my suggestion is always put it in the same place, right? If you get in the habit of putting something in the same place, when I travel, I always put it in my book bag, but I don't put it in a slot where it can easily be accessed. I like to put it in a spot where it has like another zipper on it. You can put it in there, but I would get in the habit of making sure you're putting it in the same spot That way you're not searching through your book bag and, trying to find it here, trying to find it there. Just get in the habit of being consistent, having your passport in the same spot. As far as the authorization form, we already have that. You guys already gave that to me, so we're good to go with that. Okay, like I said, I triple checked about all this, had a little panic attack. We are good to go as far as the entry into the different countries are concerned. As far as the parental authorization form, that is a just in case. Okay, EF suggests that you, when traveling with students, you have that just in case. So hopefully we won't have to show that, but we have it if needed. And then I kind of briefly talked about this. The entry requirements. This is the tool that you can find on your end. Once again, I said this in a previous meeting. Trust but verify. Please trust that what I'm saying is the truth. But if you would like to verify, please, I am not offended. If there's something that you find, bring it to my attention. But I've combed through, I've looked, I've asked, double and triple check. We do not have anything where we are going to need any more documentation or any other authorizations to enter any other country. Okay. And then this.
Oh, our favorite. Okay, so we're going to Europe. Thank goodness it's Eastern Europe because it gets very, very hot. It gets very, very warm. And the older I get, the more uncomfortable I get with heat. So I'm grateful that it's going to be a little bit cooler, but the air conditioning there is not like our air conditioning here. So went to Italy, their air conditioning was on full blast and it still felt like it was 90 something degrees. It just was uncomfortable in certain places. So just know that it's not as common in across the water as it is here. So always just try to stay hydrated. Like I told you before, I bring like those Gatorade packets to put in my water bottle sometimes if I get too hot. From what I did here, Eastern Europe is not as warm in the summertime, especially in the early summer months. So we should be okay. It's kind of like how it was today, probably. So you should be okay. Maybe cooler even in the morning. So people visit Europe all the time. There are going to be times where we have to wait in lines. I've never been to Germany or Prague, but I know that if it's a tourist attraction, there's usually some sort of line. EF prides itself on getting us tickets ahead of time, and a lot of times our tour guides we skip the lines, but other times we'll have to probably wait. So patience is key. Um, Water in Europe, when you ask for bottled water, a lot of times it's sparkling water. You have to ask for still. You have to be specific. When we go out to eat, you ask for water to drink, they're gonna automatically think it's sparkling water. So just say you want still water. Unless you like sparkling water, then of course you get your sparkling water. Adapters. You have to make sure that your adapter is for all three countries. I usually get a universal one.
Yeah.
And they have it for the different countries on there. So that you can charge all your devices, your phones, your AirPods, or whatever else you need to do. You can bring all your plugs from home and it'll be
And you can find these on Amazon.
Yeah.
I paid like $20 for this one. You might want to have one that has the multiple plugs on there for USB and flash one.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is just making sure it has an EU
Mhm.
plug, UK plug, US obviously, and then Australia. Besides that, we're good to go.
Mhm.
So just please make sure you have this because this will be the life of your child because the life of your child
Is their phone,
is
correct?
and this is your way of checking in on your child, and we'll talk about checking in with your child a little bit later. But definitely make sure you guys have a plug if you don't already have one.
Yes.
So you have a EU, a UK, a US, and an Australia.
I just like that just because I don't know where I will go, and if I ever need it, it's there. If I don't need it, then I don't have to worry about it. I'm sure there's one with more, but since we're in Europe, we should be good with this.
Yeah.
It was good last time I went in Italy and then Poland. I
Mhm.
found somebody else's. So if you don't even want to buy one, if you have a friend that has one, last time when I went to Europe for the first time, I brought with my friends. I was like, "Yeah, this." So I strongly suggest it.
And safety is a big priority, and we are going to another country. We are tourists. So we usually sandwich the kids when we walk. We'll have a chaperone in the front, a chaperone in the back, and the kids in the middle. We'll tell the kids to always, no matter what, you're keeping your passports on your person at all times. You're not leaving it in a hotel room. You're not leaving it in your luggage. You're carrying your identification, because it's your ID, with you at all times. Like Mr. McLeod said, keep it someplace safe. But what we would do is we tell you to try to keep it in front of you and not necessarily in the back of you, unless, like Mr. McLeod says, it's in a pocket within a pocket. Also, one thing that I learned on being in previous trips is that when we see something that we don't feel like it's right, maybe someone too close, trying to get close to your luggage or close to your bag, we usually had a code word. Like, so we would scream out something like bananas, and then everybody would look around because we knew bananas meant somebody's close, watch your stuff. Okay. So just make sure you're cognizant when you go out in your groups and stuff, and you guys have your time on your own, that you are aware. Never leave your stuff down on the ground. One tip that they taught us is, like, if you're eating outdoor in a restaurant and you're in a chair, take your backpack and actually put, or your purse, and you take your backpack, you can take one of the arms, put it underneath your chair, and then sit down, just in case someone wants to grab it off and go. It's stuck underneath the chair. Otherwise, we always want it to be on the inside of you, never on the outside.
That's why you're on this court. I didn't know that. It's a rookie move. I mean, that's a pro move right there. I haven't seen that.
Please.
But no, that's a great tip. I knew that. We'll be using DC or.
Right, right,
Are we good
right.
with that?
Yes, we're good.
I'm sorry, it's the end of the day.
And then or on tour safety. So we have rules. We'll have rules. And remember, we have a sister group. They're gonna have their own set of rules, even though we're together the entire time for the most part. And you guys will probably mingle and become best of friends. Happens every year without a shadow of a doubt. They become like family. I don't know how it happens every year. We still have to follow our own rules that Mr. McLeod has put forth for us. So, and the tour director. So the tour director is like, I don't allow this or that. We just have to listen to what they say. Maybe they don't want us to eat on the bus, even though we're hungry, or maybe they don't want us to use the bathroom on the bus, even though we really have to go. We just have to make sure we follow the rules. Make sure you're on time. If we are asking you to be someplace at 1/2 past the hour, for those of you that don't know, it's 30 on the 30 on the 6th. Be there 5 minutes before, right? And make sure you keep all your possessions in a safe place.
And I'm gonna say this before we go on to the next slide for the world. We were traveling with a really good group of kids, right?
Yeah.
4 of them, 4 out of the 8, I've taught 4 out of the 8. They're awesome kids. The other 4, I see them in the hallway.
And they're awesome
Not-
kids, right?
So I don't foresee any problems from your children. Like I said, they are angels, at least the time they've been.
Well, at school they are.
But no, I mean, it's a really good group of kids. And the good thing is we're traveling with 3 of their parents. So, with Mr. and Mrs. Freed, and I'm sorry, let me get that last name again, Miss,
Health.
right? We're taken care of. Then you have, Miss McKnight, and then for me, I'm kind of like, all right, guys, let's just be
Yeah.
respectful. That's my general rule. But I mean, like I said, I'm really not, and Lorela and her
That's right.
canon, so a total of 4 parent chaperones. So like I
Yeah.
said, our numbers are really good.
Yeah.
And I don't foresee any problems from your children.
No. So follow the laws in each country is important. They have their own laws. I remember a horror story that we were told our first trip. There were a bunch of seniors, and I guess they did a prank or a dare from another school in another state. And they were in London, and even though the kid had the money, they dared him to take something out of the shop. And then to see if he can get away with it. He tried, he got caught. He laughed it off and was like, okay, I'll pay for it. And then the shop owner wanted to press charges. So they called the police. And so the tour guide, thank goodness, the tour guide was able to talk them off the ledge. But they immediately sent that kid home, like on the parents' dime, because they were like, this right here could have ruined everything. So no matter what, just follow the country's laws. All students, of course, are to be respectful to everyone. We don't expect, there's no doubt in my mind that you guys will not. No drugs, vapes, or alcoholic beverages of any kind. And some European countries, consent for students is a little bit lower in age, like alcohol can be 18 in some places, even though we don't have any 18-year-olds, but we don't want you to partake in any of these things at all whatsoever. If you're caught with any of these things at all whatsoever, you're going home immediately on your dime. On your dime, or your parents' dime, because you guys don't have a dime. But yes, do not buy any paraphernalia at all. Students cannot go into anyone's hotel room, even if they have the same sex or same gender, meet in the lobby to socialize. So you guys, of course, if you have your roommates, you guys can be in each other's rooms. You guys are gonna be in each other's spaces, but don't go into anyone's room if you want to talk, have a good time. They're usually meeting places. EF is very kid friendly with the hotels. Sometimes the hotels have a kid meeting room where they have like games like that they could play and they could socialize like cafeteria tables. So you'll have spaces that you guys can talk and congregate. But don't go in anyone else's room. Once we call lights are out. You can do whatever you want in your room when lights are out with your roommates. Stay up until 4 in the morning. Just make sure you're able to get up the next day to go out, but you can't leave the room. And kids usually, yeah, stay up all night. I guess that's what it's like to be young. I don't remember, but that's what it's like. Um, you can team up with other students from the sister group if you want to, but you still have to be in groups of 3 or more. So the kids would ask, why not 2? Well, if one person gets lost, that means automatically the other person is lost too. So we don't want that to happen. So groups of 3 or more at all times. And if you want to like kind of get with the kids from the other school, that's fine too, as long as we know that you guys are together. Always check with an adult before you go off, so we know where your groups are, so we can count off. And you say, okay, we're about to go around this plaza. Maybe it's a shopping plaza. You have time on your own. We just want to make sure that you have your group before you go off and you'll be okay. And make sure you agree and you're there at the place, the meetup place on time. Check WhatsApp regularly. I believe Mr. McLeod is going to start a WhatsApp group with our group, our travel group, and it'll give us like real-time notifications, what we need to do, questions asked, all that good stuff.
And we'll start that in the actual airport parents. And so we'll talk about that, about communication and so forth. But as far as the people on the trip, we will start our own WhatsApp group, and then like I said, in a couple of minutes I'll explain partner reach what.
Exchange phone numbers, we'll download all that stuff to keep in touch. Anyone who fails to follow the rules may be asked to return home at the parent's expense.
So, on your desk right now, whenever students whenever students go on tour with EF, they always provide the students with a backpack. As they suggested, you use it as a carry-on bag. Great tip by Miss Nutt. She said that she packs it in her luggage just in case, she needs another bag, or clothes, maybe even laundry on the way back. So those are for you to keep. Those are yours. Please make sure you take them with you. So you have that right now. When we are in Dulles sitting around waiting, we have a good amount of time.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna double and triple check. So we're gonna make sure that everybody gets a wristband. I will give a marker or a pen to the student, and that way they can write the emergency information on the inside of the wristband. EF provides them, has a blank space with the emergency number on there. And it also has the numbers for EF as well. That way, in the event, a student's lost, that shouldn't be the first go-to. The first go-to would be an adult on tour. And then, for whatever reason, if it's an extreme emergency and they're totally lost, which that's not our goal and that's not gonna happen. We gotta speak things into existence.
Yes.
But that will be on the inside of their band. And then also on your desk right now, there is a travel and safety guide. Parents, just give it a good read. I mean, we have about 12 more days before we take off, but
Wow,
it's definitely a good read. Kind of gives you an idea of what to expect and so forth. But they also include in the back the contact information, group leader's name, that can all be found. Obviously, the group leader is myself, but that all can be found on your login site from EF Tours. And then they also have a small little card that they suggest that your child fills out as well. I always say the child should fill out because my threes might look like eights to somebody else. That way, if child reads the writing, they know their own writing, they know it's a 3 or an 8, not a 3, and other numbers and letters as well. So please, like I said, have your child fill that out. That can be found in the back of the book, so please make sure you take that with you when you leave. You might want to take a screenshot of this, but you don't have to. The reason being is this is the support number that you can call if there's ever an emergency. You can save the numbers to your phone now, but there's going to be another place where you can find that, and that is that small little card that you have on your desk. My thing is, like I said, I don't trust technology all the time. That's why I printed these out. Please, at some point, please download the EF Traveler app. It is very, very helpful. Like I said, I plan for the worst. So in the event that you cannot get on to the App Store at this current moment, you have the card. That way you can do that on your own and at your own time. Like I said, in the email that I'll send out the Sunday before we leave, I'll send a reminder to make sure you have that. I'll put the tour number as well as the access code. But like I said, I know some of you are ready to go. You want to do this in the car, please be my guest. All that information you have is right there. All right. I have it on my phone. And I will say this, it works better for this than it did when I was in Italy. Traveling with adults. This one will give you the itinerary and so forth. That way you know where your child is, that you know the hotel that your child is staying in. It gives you the itinerary, and then under the more, see, there you go.
Yeah.
I had to pick the user side first. My version looks different, but no, it also has the emergency numbers on there as well as everything else. So please, please, please make sure that you download that, whether through Google Play or the Apple App Store. We're kind of running, we're actually right on time. We're good with time. As far as your login, okay, you guys, I know have been hopefully logging into the EF website. For whatever reason, I check it every day just it's just who I am. I have to double and triple check it. I have 8 students or 8 children that I'm responsible for, so gotta make sure you're prepared. But double and triple check. You have your traveler account there. I'm sure you probably already have it saved to your phone. I have mine already saved in my phone right next to my EF app. That way I can go back and forth between the two. Essentially, they do the same thing. The only difference is this one's going to be a little more detailed. For this one, the travel account, like I said, you guys are familiar with this already. But it has the same information on there. As far as the flights and itinerary and so forth, that's already on there. So if you click under itinerary, it'll give you and allow you to look at your flights, just in case. My wife has already, she had asked me, and I said, maybe I'll get it to you. I gotta get through tonight before I can get to everything else. Let me take care of the people I'm responsible for. I will get you afterwards. But no, that information's all there. That way, you know when the flight is taken off. They do suggest refreshing it. In the event that a flight gets canceled, we're hoping that doesn't happen, but there's a whole protocol that we have to follow. More importantly, I have to follow. And look, you've been color coded here in the front page. What to do in case of emergency. I'm that type of guy where I'm like, no, you tell me what I need to do.
Right.
I'm not panicking. And that first one they tell you is find the right mindset. Right? Find the right mindset. That I definitely need to hear.
Right. Find the right.
That's why Miss McKnight is coming with us. That way she can say, listen, bro, I can walk you through this. I've been through this before. Thank you, old round one.
Yeah.
And she's the younger of the two. But anyway, I digress. You can, like I said, access that online. You already have access to that. As far as the safety forms, I already have that for you guys. So thank you. Like I said, I wasn't gonna rely on waiting for EF to tell me. I knew ahead of time. Let me get this out to people. You guys got this back to me already. So there's no reason to collect that. If for whatever reason there's anything that you need to update in the emergency contact form, information, please do that. Feel free.
Mhm.
It'll update on my end and it'll be there. But once again, I believe in technology failing. It's also in here as well. Traveler health and medical profile, right? After that, we have the authorization form and then your child's photocopy of their passport,
Mhm.
just in case. I'm the
Mhm.
just in case guy. My principal doesn't like that I print so much, but that's what it is. Sorry. All right. Your pre-departure to-do list. Like I said, this is pretty much everything that we have talked about. The money and budgeting, passport details. Like I said, no words on mine, but triple check, right? All the details are correct on your account. This includes your name on your passport matches your EF account exactly, and that's why I asked you when you did the authorization form that you spell my name MC space LEOD, because that's what it says on my passport. When I applied for my passport back in 2019, I followed all the rules. I took about half an hour to fill it out, only for them to send it back to me. And I'm like, I don't have a space in my name.
Right.
And so at that point, I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for another passport, and I have to get my license update. So I guess I'm MC LEOD now.
Yeah.
Now what it says on my birth certificate. So that was that long story. Please just make sure things match, right? We should be good to go with that. Birthdays are correct. Sex is correct as well. And then I double and triple checked last night to make sure everybody's passport was about 6 months out. And I will say this, I dropped the ball on this. I didn't tell you that. So when I'm going through everybody's passport yesterday, I was like, whew. Some of you are 30, 20, 33, some of you are 20, 27. I'm the one that has to get mine updated, but I only got like 2 more years, so I'm even good to go. So once again, I was like, oh man, whew, I'm good to go on that. That would have been disastrous. I don't even know what we would have done. I got a lot of money that had it done.
Expedited, yeah.
All right. Besides that, like I said, the biggest thing, please make sure you download the EF Traveler app. Please make sure you do that. And then we only have like 3 more things to talk about. Kind of talk about it roughly. Things are gonna be a little bit different in Europe. The adapter is so important. Obviously your child wants to use a phone, you want to communicate with your child. As far as the bathrooms are concerned, no well, there will be public restrooms, but they're not free, which I thought that was interesting, going into Poland and having to put like a dime equivalent of a giant
Yes.
turnstile.
Yes.
And I'm like, what's going on here? But the bathrooms were clean though.
Very.
As far as the change and stuff for the bathrooms, don't worry about it. Usually people have that readily available. If not, I will have change readily available. I will be the change guy. So that's the other thing. They told me when I was in tour with EF, they said, hey, use the vacuum early and often because you never know when you're gonna need to use it. Okay. So please take advantage of that. As far as shopping bags, I mean, we're kind of used to the idea of having to pay 10 cents or 15 cents, so that's no biggie. I didn't know this when I went back in 2019, but tipping is not customary. I just tip, and they were like, "You don't tip." I'm like, well, no, you do tip. I'm American. They're like, no, that's kind of like showing off. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So, do what you feel is right, but if you're gonna tip, don't go excessively overboard. Like, don't give your 15 or 22% like you would here.
Yeah.
That's showing off. So I was like, here you go. I had to get rid of my slotties. And I was like, they kind of looked at me funny. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
As far as air conditioning is not as common, yes, please bring a fan or a sweat towel. Oh, I need to say this. And it's not in here. For my 2 opportunities to travel to Europe, they were the same opportunities in regards to washcloths. Okay. I did not know that washcloths, when I asked for a washcloth in a hotel,
They give you
a washcloth, they gave me a large towel.
hand towel, yeah.
No, it wasn't even a hand towel, a large towel. for me, I use a washcloth, so it was different, I will say that, it was different. Doesn't make it weird, it's just different.
Mhm.
If you want your child to maybe pack one, maybe buy a 3 or 4 pack at Walmart, something like that. They can use it, they can throw it away. If your child uses a washcloth, I will be buying that. Like I said, it's slight difference, slightly different. Air conditioning, we already talked about that. Please, parents, before we go, as we get closer, please check the weather in the 4 cities that we'll be traveling to: Berlin, Warsaw, Krakow, and Prague. Check the weather app. That way, you're aware of what your child should be packing. To answer your question, Alicia, see, I had a plan, right? You can expect the range between the 60s and 80s. Look, this morning, it's a little ahead.
Okay.
But I saw as you look, the lows in the afternoons were the 60s. The highs were in the 80s, and I think the hottest place that we were in was Krakow, I
Okay.
think. It's the southern of the three cities. But very similar to a spring here in Virginia.
Nice.
Without the humidity.
Oh,
That is a plus, and that's the only reason she agreed to go on this trip.
Correct.
She says she doesn't do hot. I said, then you're gonna love Eastern Europe,
yes.
or sorry, Central Europe.
Mhm.
So please just look at that before we leave. Miss McKnight, it's time for you to steal the show. Bring it home.
Okay. So you're responsible for your own money and passports on tour. And we want to make sure that you keep your stuff. This is like you're now being you're responsible young adults. You're getting ready to go to high school anyway. Some of you guys are already in high school, but you got to keep your passport. I did have a student last year who lost their passport before we left the plane. So we got on the plane in Dulles. We were in the air. Before we landed, he came to me and said, Miss McKnight, I can't find my passport. I'm like, it has to be on the plane because we haven't gone anywhere. We could not find this kid's passport. We are assuming that he threw it out when they came to collect meals. So we could not legally enter the country. So we could not pass the gates, the boarding gates. So we had to stay at the seats, and I had to call that emergency number, find that right mindset, right? Call the emergency number. And they were booking us flights to go home. I was going to have to go home with that student. My chaperone took the group and met with our tour guide, and they were finding us take trips to take this kid directly back home. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, thank goodness. The gate agent knew someone who worked in the US embassy or customs, and it was a Sunday. It called them on their home phone number, was able to get them to give us an emergency stay because I had the color passport. If I did not have the color copy, they would not let us go. We were able to go through customs. I had to go the next day and go to the US embassy as a parent proxy and fill out for another emergency passport that the kid got later on that day.
So it sounds to me as though that you're experiencing that. You will be taking.
So it was a whole day, and the kid was, I mean, he felt so bad, but I did keep that passport for the whole trip. I'm not gonna lie. I did not allow him. I was like, no, that passport is mine. But everyone else, that one instance, everyone was so responsible with that passport after that. So just keep your passports on you at all time.
And
Yeah.
I'm almost at the level where I'm like, I need to see where you're putting your passport.
Well, we do passport checks before, like, so when we get on the bus.
I've done that with rural members of Congress because they're like children when it comes to them. I'm doing the same thing. I didn't to see for a member of Congress.
Oh my gosh, you're like, what else can go wrong? But yeah, it works out when you're like, my goodness. Yes, it does. It happens, and it always works itself out. So, and we'll do passport checks. Like, so when we get on the bus, Mr. McLeod may ask you, okay, passports, and you have to take them out, and I have to take mine out, and I want you to open the book, show your picture, so we know it's yours, and then you put it back in your spot so that we know it's always on you. Don't leave your personal belongings unattended. So that means that if we're at the airport and you need to go somewhere, you need to ask someone to watch your bag and make sure they are watching it. Say, can you specifically watch my bag? I'm going to the bathroom. We want to make sure that your stuff is always accounted for. Someone asks you to, show you something or go somewhere, don't go. You don't want to see it, don't go.
And I can speak to that. When I was in Italy, I'm very observant. I like to watch people. I watch how things are going on. I see this guy right at the Coliseum, putting watches on people. Like, oh yeah, you can have it. And like I can see the guy's like, okay, I can have it, and there's a language barrier, and the guy's like, no, you can't have it, you have to pay.
Yeah,
And so he tried to do the same thing to me. I didn't pay him any money.
yeah,
So like that is very common. So my philosophy, I'm from New York, you just don't talk to them.
correct,
You keep your eyes down, face forward,
correct.
find somebody in the trip, follow them.
You don't even have to,
Yeah.
you don't even have to like find someone at the point, if they try to talk to you, the best way to get rid of them is to ignore. There's no thank you, I don't want it, there's no conversation. You don't speak, they stop speaking. So we don't talk to them at all.
And not to be rude, but just
That's not rude. That's their way of, no, they believe that we're the kind of people, Americans are kind of people that are very apologetic, and we're like, oh no, we're sorry, no, and they can talk us into things. We have to act like the locals. The locals don't talk. We're not going to talk to them either. Um, um, Stay in groups of 3 or more, of course. Wear comfortable shoes. I usually like bring 2 pairs of shoes, honestly, because even my most comfortable shoes, if you wear them all the time, are no longer as comfortable for some reason. So I'll swap off 2 separate shoes, just to be comfortable. And bring a reusable water bottle, hat for the airport. I always bring like a large hat because sun is still shining everywhere. Sunglasses. I like to bring a poncho. In the summer, I have the reflective umbrellas, the one that kind of like takes, the sun rays away, because I get hot. So but I wear ponchos sometimes, when it rains, because I just want to be comfortable instead of the umbrella, but yeah.
Before we go on to the last slide, I just wanted to mention one thing. A couple of things. Number one, keep in mind that we are going to be 6 hours ahead. Okay, 6 hours ahead in the 3 countries that we're in. So parents, what I always suggest, and you'll see this in the email that I'll send you the Sunday before we travel. I always suggest the idea of find a good time where it's find a good time or come up with a time where you can talk to your child, right? They're gonna be out all day. Children, you don't wait for your parents to call you, you call them, right? So parents, if you get a call and it's like 12 o'clock at night because your child is super excited and they want to tell you about the day, pick up the phone, right? But your child will probably know when it's the best time to do that. So just keep that in mind. Just find that time. Like I said, parents, every single one of you should have my cell phone number. It'll be in that email that I keep talking about, the one that will come out on Sunday before we go. My number will be in there as well. Please only call me if it is an emergency. All right. And the only reason I say that is because on tour, my number one priority is your child's safety. Nothing else. Like, I don't care if I'm not having fun. I'm fine with that.
Right.
Your child's safety is my number one priority. That's my job, my only job. Right. And I can't keep your child safe if I'm talking to you or answering a text. Right. If you need to contact your child, please feel free. If something happens, there's emergency, and one of your children has to step to the side. Hey, Mr. McCarty, I just need to take this phone call. I need to talk to my mom. That's not a problem. Right. Children, just be mindful and be aware of your situation. Know when it's appropriate and when it's not. But if it's an emergency, your parents are calling you and they're telling you, hey, pick up, just check in with one of the adults. Hey, I'm just stepping to this side and then take phone call. So that is that. And then the other thing, keep in mind, students, that as you travel, the seriousness of the topic that we're talking about, my philosophy is there's time and place for everything. Okay. Please talk to me. Talk to the adults. If we're at Auschwitz and you feel uncomfortable and you need to step to the side, let us know. Right. I don't have a problem being the chaperone to say, hey, listen, Johnny needs to sit this one out. I will sit with him and I'll take that loss because I've been to some of these sites already. I don't mind that. All right. Once again, I'm the person that you signed up to take your child. I want to make sure that both physically and mentally your child is in a good spot. Okay. It hits people different ways. Like I said, I would love a time where we can reflect. Reflection is good. And if we can't physically reflect by talking, then if your child can reflect by writing,
Mm,
right? But if at any time your child feels uncomfortable, please let us know.
mhm,
Okay?
mhm.
Because like I said, your safety is our number one priority, physical and mental. Um, I'm hoping that there will be some downtime where we can do some fun things as well. But like I said, there's not escaping any of the heavy parts of it.
Mm.
Okay. And then like I said, please ask tons of questions, right? Tons of questions, whether it's me or the tour guide, okay? Or you know, anyways, ask questions. And Miss McKnight,
That was it.
no, it's all yours right now.
Oh,
You're
okay.
taking us home.
Oh,
You're
okay.
flying the plane.
Yeah, okay. So if you guys want to, I mean, this is a different kind of trip. Because of the seriousness of it, we're not going to be taking like selfies in certain places, you know. Of course, you're going to take pictures, and sometimes they may ask you to take pictures of certain things. But if you want to at EF Tours and you want your picture maybe be featured somewhere, they even or hashtag EF Tours, they could be featured on a site. If you want to take videos, if you want to create videos, you know, some of the videos that we see in the very beginning are student videos taken and they create these collages for us. So you can do that. We have possibly a social media that we use at South County, even though we're not affiliated. South County and Fairfax is not affiliated with this particular tour. It's a third party that is approved by FCPS. We have our own little Instagram, and you can see some of our old tours on it. And what we do is we ask the kids every night to share pictures that they don't mind. I either share a picture or I'm going to take one and share it myself. So you either share the one that you like or you settle for the one that I take. But just so that you guys know what we're doing and you're privy to see what we're doing as well. It's kind of like you're there two parents. And we'll probably share that with you guys maybe at the airport or our hashtag or our name so that you can find us on Instagram. He doesn't do social media. He doesn't
Well, I
do
think the whole on that space.
Facebook. Yeah. Yeah. Instagram. Yeah.
But Miss McKnight.
I don't do TikTok though, but yeah.
And so last point, like I said, because of the sensitivity, yes, we're not gonna be taking selfies at certain locations. It's just going to be hopefully sensitive. We want to be sensitive to the topic that we're talking about. I've heard horror stories and read horror stories of teenagers and even adults taking, selfies at Auschwitz. Like, come on.
Mhm.
The last thing about social media, and this is just something that I learned from experience traveling to these different spots within the Holocaust. If you do post, that's fine. We are not, we're not the posting police. But please be aware that there are Holocaust deniers out there. And it may be even friends of yours or people that follow you on Facebook. When I went in 2019, we had a person from my group had posted something on Facebook and somebody shot a comment like, yeah, that didn't happen. So just be aware of that. I will take a lot of photographs, but I will not post the ones related to the Holocaust because of that feeling. But just be mindful of that. You might see ugliness rear its head in social media. That really is all. Are there any questions that the parents or even the students have? We are done.
That's it. See you guys at the
Guys, like I
airport.
said, I will be sending out that email the Sunday before we travel. It'll give you just quick reminders. Please, once again, 6:30. 6:30 we'll meet at Bellis. And thank you, parents, for allowing your child to go on this journey with us. Thank you.
Thanks.
This is nice.
So I'm gonna stop recording.
Oh, yeah.